It's very sad today that some of the former politicians, all of the first ministers have passed away, but there were a lot of people at that 1982 conference who are still alive. Former ministers, provincial ministers and federal ministers, former bureaucrats, deputy ministers, assistant deputy ministers, university scholars and the like. Where are they? I didn't realize until recently that we're always only, even in the best of times, a heartbeat away from tyranny. That democracy is one of the most fragile concepts in the world. That's why most of the world doesn't have democracy. It's a tough thing to sustain. You can create it, but sustaining it is very, very difficult. We see that now today. We see that now today in spades, and we're going to say, democracy may be fragile, but we shall defend it. Remember what Ronald Reagan said. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Mr. Trudeau, tear down those mandates. Mr. Ford, take away that emergency order. All the premiers of Canada and all the first ministers, stand up for your country, stand up for freedom, stand up for liberty. What has happened to you? You have succumbed to the corporate world and to power-hungry politics and forgot your nation and your liberty and your freedom, but we're going to hold you to account. I want to close, if you'll just give me a few more minutes. My wife will hold on to the mic. Every day in the last, since I launched my own personal lawsuit against the government, everybody always says, it's easy to talk the talk, how about walking the walk? Well, we're going to walk the walk. Every day I get hundreds of Every day I get hundreds and hundreds of emails from Canadians all across the country. Okay? I get hundreds of them. And many of them are heart-rending, where people have lost jobs. Divorced mothers with 2 or 3 kids. She's a professional and suddenly she's told she doesn't have a job. I have veterans who cry to me about what did they try to defend in 1940 and 41 and 42 during the Second World War. I have immigrants who said we came here 40 years ago for freedom, and now we smell it escaping us, fading away. And I had this one.
Now see, I muscled my way through the craft.
I was 9 years old when the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms was enshrined in our Constitution.
I don't know what to do.
The day stands out in my memory primarily because my mother, lying myself and my 3 sisters along the couch, and actually told us to watch TV. How could I forget that? But I also remember what she told me about what we were watching. She said that now we had the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Canada was its own country. Who could have ever imagined on that day that the situation would find ourselves in now? Did you ever think, talking to me, during the process of establishing the Charter, that our governments would make the decisions that they have to supposedly manage a global pandemic? I am writing you to thank you for speaking out. You have reminded us and in some cases taught us about our fundamental freedoms. I can't say that I thought very much of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms since that day of TV watching on our family couch. But because of your actions, I have learned that it's not true that we only have the freedoms the government allow us to have, that we have fundamental freedoms that have been unjustly taken from us. Ironically, last page, ironically, my family does not own a television set now. We have, however, been glued to various internet resources, totally captivated by the Freedom Convoy, and our hearts are full of joy and enthusiasm and hope. I believe that it's because you are speaking up, educating all of us about the Charter and the rights, that we are guaranteed that this truck convoy is happening and will be successful. You can be assured that I have lined my own 5 children along our couch and told them about the Charter, the rights we are guaranteed, and they know your name and the importance of your actions. Every family that visits our home hears my Brian Peckford speech. You are my hero, Mr. Peckford. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work you are doing to ignite our democracy. I pray that God will bless you and provide all of you that you need to continue this fight until we are victorious. With much respect and gratitude. We shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in our hearts, I do believe we shall overcome one day. All the best. Long live Canada. Thank you for being a part of this.
So before you leave the stage, Mr. Peckford, I want to extend a huge thank you from me personally and from millions of Canadians, because we've heard from the doctors about the science. We've heard from some politicians, and now we've heard from a man who spent 17 months building the document under which we stand right now, affirming our rights as Canadians to live our lives as we choose. So, Mr. Peckford, we're going to give you the biggest applause that we've done yet. Thank you from me and from Canada for your service.